A boy at school put pencil lead in my daughter's water when she wasn't looking, and the counselor she met with overlooked the issue entirely, with her genius solution being to stop leaving her water unattended and tell the boy to stop instead of instilling actual punishment. My daughter just started middle school last week. Yesterday, a boy put pencil lead into her water bottle straw and she didn't notice. When she went to drink from it, another girl spoke up and said, "Don't drink that. Peter put something in it." My daughter looked inside and saw the pencil lead in her water. Boys were laughing at her, including the one that put it in there. My daughter told the teacher and the teacher yelled at the kid, and that was it. The boy asked if she was going to tell his parents and she said no, it's not that big of a deal. I was pissed because pencil lead and the soft tissue of someone's throat could have been an issue. A serious medical issue? Probably not. But it's contaminating someone's water? I wrote the school asking if they would check in on the incident. Given it's an actual crime to mess with someone's food or water, at the very least there should be an incident report about it so the boy's parents get notified. I would want to be notified if my kid did something like that. This is where more rage comes in. The counselor met with my daughter and wrote me an email. In this email she stated she met with my daughter and she let my daughter know that she didn't need to tell the teacher and could have just told the boy directly that she didn't like that, and to not do it again. She then goes on to explain to my daughter that the boy probably had a crush on her, and sometimes boys do that when they like her. She then went on to say she told my daughter to make sure she doesn't leave her water unattended and to maybe put a cap on the straw. As if she should carry that around and it's her fault this girl put stuff in her water. I'm so pissed about this. I wrote her back saying that I felt like the school was stating contaminating someone's food or water is not a big deal, blaming my daughter for not watching her water bottle 24/7 even when somewhere else in the classroom, and then saying boys will be boys because they like her. What the actual F? Am I overreacting? My husband is a teacher in the district and says he also thinks it's weird how they are handling this, but he's used to elementary school standards. Looking for honest replies. Commenter, Noor. I don't know how that counselor managed to get her job. She clearly isn't bright because she stated all of this in an email. I'd forward that email straight to the school board to escalate the situation. Up. I could not believe I have this in writing. Update 1. I just got my daughter's side of the story for how the conversation went down, and it's even worse than how the lady described in the email, which was already bad. This lady gets my daughter out of class and sits her down. Mind you, I asked for a report to be filed, and then we're supposed to be talking to her just to get my daughter's account of what happened. So my daughter says the lady sat her down and asked her to tell her what happened. My daughter explained what happened. This lady then tells her that this issue is a 1 out of 10 in terms of severity. She said if something is a 1 to 5, you know what you should do? Handle it yourself, and this being a 1 means you shouldn't have told the teacher and try to work it out on your own. My daughter asked her, well then what's a 6 to 10? The lady says, something serious like cutting your arm off. My daughter was shocked. I think this is the first time she's ever been acutely aware of an adult being so in the wrong. My daughter confirmed this lady said the boy probably had a crush on her and that's why he probably did it. Along with the make sure you watch your water bottle. Don't be leaving it around. BS. I'm so pissed off. If she would have just listened, reported it, contacted the boy's parents, and made sure it was clear he can never do this again, that would have been the end of it. Now I find this counselor to be just as big or bigger issue than the incident itself. I'm so mad I'm sick to my stomach. Update 2. I slept on it and wrote an email to the principal, counselor, and some other lady they had tagged if I wanted to report the actual incident after telling me and my daughter to let it go. BTW, the principal was on all the email threads already. I factually described what happened, what was said in email, quoting email from counselor, what was said to my daughter, and simply asked if everyone at the school is in agreement with how this incident was handled and the messaging that was said. I referenced the harm of messaging to girls boys hurt you because they like you that everyone had mentioned, and also asked if they support what was said to my daughter. I said whether they support this response or disagree with what was done, I would like that conclusion in writing. I'm giving them one last opportunity to correct this before deciding what to do next. Update 3. To clarify, these were mechanical pencil sticks that can puncture skin or soft tissue, not a little piece of dull lead from the tip of a pencil. Also, I am aware it's not actually lead and just call that. My concern was puncturing the tissue, not poison. Also, I got a call from a woman at the school who is actually in charge of writing up the incidents, and she 100% acknowledged this should have been reported and handled as a more serious issue. I can't tell you how much better it felt simply hearing someone acknowledge the problem. She isn't in charge of the counselor and said she saw my email though and is curious to see how they respond. Still waiting to hear the response. I'll figure out next steps from there. After asking some other people I know in the area that are teachers that were shocked with the response, I'm expecting some kind of apology to come through, but we will see. Update 4. 1 week later. Post got locked for some reason, but I have a final update. There was a discussion among the staff and found big differences in opinion from the counselor and others, and it was decided to in fact create an incident for this. Others found tampering with another kid's food or drink a major issue. They called the kid down to the office and called his mother. His mother apparently was horrified, apologized, and agreed to the punishment/action the school decided on. I'm not aware of what it is, but I was fine that it was reported and addressed. The principal met with me and was very apologetic and acknowledged the response from the counselor was wrong. He asked me to come down and chat with the counselor and himself. I agreed. I sat down with the principal and counselor, and it went down like this. I reiterated my offense about her bringing romantic feelings or motivations into the conversation and associating/justifying the behavior with harmful actions. I used a lot your comments to help support how telling girls this is how boys behave when they like can lead to women gravitating toward harmful and abusive relationships. Mind you, when I'm telling her this, her face is like surprised Pikachu turned scowl. I told her clearly, by your face I can see we have disagreement here. Do you understand where I'm coming from at all? She kept saying things like, well, I don't know what your daughter said. Or I don't know what your daughter's takeaway is. And multiple times I had to reference the fact I had in writing from her, what she said. The almost hilarious part about this is that the principal kept backing me up, saying, yeah, I read that part of the email too, it was in there. She tried directing blame or confusion on my daughter multiple times, but you better believe I had that email pulled up on my phone ready to reference it each time. She even said I'm a feminist. In which I said, I don't know what your personal beliefs or stances are, but somehow they got extremely disconnected. Or reflected. In your words, that were a net negative outcome for my daughter's mental health. I would not let the conversation go, or her deflect blame, until I 100% got her to acknowledge this. I was incredibly patient and calm because, to be honest, my goal wasn't to fire anyone. I genuinely wanted to come to a better understanding so that she approached these situations differently. I also asked that they create training and supportive documentation around how to handle these situations that is both transparent to the staff and the kids, since there seems to be massive gaps in understanding that can have serious consequences. Anyway, picked up my kid, she was all smiles as we talked about it, and I role-played my side, the convo versus the counselors. We got Bobo while talking about how she's going to vet the loves of her life. She even said if boys like you they should say something nice or just tell you. We then went on to list all the ways we thought it would be nice to have someone show they like you. Commenter: that's terrifying that kid thinks A, it's interesting to put things in girls' drinks, and B, didn't seem fazed by the thought that it could hurt her. Those are red flags aplenty if I've ever seen any. You are not overreacting. The professional adults involved absolutely should have reacted way more seriously to it. It's not a harmless prank. That kid needs serious psychological help. I'm so sorry you're going through this, as well as your daughter. I'd raise holy hell too.